This is Excel. So the way you find Excel, you're gonna find it in your computer. Let me try to open it. And on your computer, you're gonna either find it here on the start button and you're gonna click Excel. And then it's gonna open. And then you're gonna click on the Black Dog workbook. And then we're gonna talk about the interface. So the interface we're gonna have at the top, this is the quick launch. And at the top left, so right now, if you want, you can just look what I do. And instead of looking at your Excel, and then we're gonna do an exercise together. But for the meantime, just look what I do, and then we're gonna do an exercise together. So on the Excel, you're gonna do at the top left, most of you are gonna have, there are different versions. So, but most of the versions are gonna have an icon at the top left that are icons that are gonna be that we're gonna be using frequently. So they're gonna be safe, and most of the time it's gonna be undo. Undo is that you're gonna undo the previous action. Then we're gonna have the tabs. So each tab is gonna have different group of commands, different function, different actions. So the home is where you're gonna have the main group of commands or actions, where you're gonna have how to modify letters, how to modify text, alignments. In cells, we can remove columns, we can remove entire rows. And we're gonna have in insert, we're gonna have other functions, page layout, we're gonna have anything to do with it, how to print. Formulas are how to do math formulas. Data are advanced functions to manipulate data, and so on. We're gonna stay today in only the home tab. Then we're gonna have something called ribbons interface or groups. And we're gonna have these groups here that are going to group icons or actions that are similar. So the font, when I say go to the font group, that means that you're gonna go to this section here, where it's gonna have anything to do with text. The alignment is gonna be, you're gonna have center or left align, and number, anything with data, if you want it decimal or percentage data, and so on. So you're gonna see the names here. So the names of each group are spelled out at the bottom. Then you're gonna have here the sales name. So, and then you're gonna have the formula bar. This is gonna make sense more in a little bit. Then we're gonna have this grid. This grid is the heart of Excel. Excel is a calculation grid. So it works different than a Word document, a word processing document. Is anything that you enter in this grid, it's gonna work to be calculated. So, and we're gonna have rows on the left. These are rows, and they are number 1, 2, and there's a limited, a finite numbers. I don't know, I remember if it's 100 or less than 100, but there is a finite number. Maybe somebody can put it on the chat or on Slack. And then there are columns, and these columns also, there is a finite number of columns. But it goes very long. You can go for a while all the way to the right. And you can navigate also through this workbook. Each time you type a cell, these cells have a name. They have a coordinate, and the coordinates of the name is gonna be, depends of the row, the number of the row and the letter of the column. So for example, this cell is called F5, and you're gonna see the name right here on this box called F5. And there is a formula box, and this formula box is connected to this cell. So anything that I write here is gonna show on the formula box. So how do you navigate on the workbook, on the workspace? So you can navigate with your mouse, and you can use the scroll. You can scroll, or you can use the enter key. And we have an enter key here. You can use the enter key. Use the enter key. You can use the tab key also. So you look on your keyboard, you have the tab key, and you can also use the arrow keys. So you use those to navigate. You can also move around with your mouse, or you can scroll. And I have here a picture too, if you missed my little demonstration with the keyboard. So we're gonna also be using only today the left side of the mouse and no the right side of the mouse, and only one click. So for today, only one click and only the left side of the mouse. We're gonna use the arrows, so you can look at your keyboard and find the arrows, the tab key and the enter key. And sometimes we have two enter keys depending on what keyboard you have. And those two, the enter key is gonna go down the keyboard, the arrows are gonna move different directions, and of course the mouse is gonna move anywhere. And if you use the scroll, you're gonna go either up or down. A good trick to do is to learn to keyboard using key shortcuts, and a very useful key shortcut is called, I'm trying to find here, Control Z. In Control Z as zebra, in Control Z as zebra is going to undo the last action. So this, you might find it at the top of the Excel, on the top where I showed you here, on the top left corner. You can click it, or you can use the keyboard right here and press it at the same time, it'll undo. So you might want to try that after, not today maybe, but later on. Have it in mind and maybe start being a little bit more courageous and try as you never tried it before, and try to see if you can use the Control and Z of zebra at the same time and see if it works for you. And next week, we can keep practicing. I just want to give you something to think about it. And then I want to show you some pointers, if you are, just to get you familiar, for those of you who are not familiar with the different mouse pointers of Excel. You have different mouse pointers. You're going to see this arrow, especially when you are in the menus. So when you are in the menus, you're going to see this arrow. For me, is black because I change it for you all to see it, but most of the time it's going to be white. you're gonna see this arrow, this white cross, and it's no arrow, white cross. That's gonna be this default cross that you're gonna see when you are into the grid. And then there are other things that you're gonna see, maybe this cross that is gonna help us when you to make the columns or rows bigger. And we're gonna practice that next week. And there are a couple other handles that we're gonna work on in a little bit, but I just wanna show you so you can start noticing the different mouse pointers that you're gonna encounter in Excel. And here, maybe later you can read about all this time. So for now, take time to digest everything I have said before. Take some time to look at open your Excel if you haven't not. We're gonna do a short exercise of typing text and data, and maybe typing a small formula. So open your Excel if you can, and try to find your bearings. Try to be a little bit adventurous and see if you can just take a little bit of exploring, entering something, maybe your phone number, and see if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just to explore a little bit, just to, just to run a little bit of warm up before we run the exercise. In the meantime, you can let me know if is any question you want me to repeat anything else, or just write it on the chat. So any questions so far?
Yes, I have a question. I can't get my Excel up. I can't get back to my main desktop to bring up my Excel.
Well, stay on, and then we can troubleshoot after the class.
Okay.
Okay, so for now, let's go and move on to the exercise. So let's go to see if you can find cell B2, B as a this B here, and 2, and if you can try any other cell, 2. And you can just, like, let me try it again. Like, you can just click on the left of your mouse, the left button, and just one click. And then Excel is gonna just highlight that cell, and you're gonna see here on the name box is gonna have the name of that cell. And then we're gonna type a text. And I'm just gonna put interest. You can type anything you want. And once you type, you're gonna notice that here on the formula box is gonna show anything that you're typing. And once you're done, you can click enter. Okay, how did that work? If you did that, congratulations. You did your first data entry in Excel. So now that you did that, let's do another one. Let's do on B3, let's do term year. And then when you finish typing, press enter. And then on B4, just type principal. And I misspell it, of course, because I'm on TV. And I keep misspelling it. And okay, got it. I think I got it now. Okay, so that's the first three fields. And we're building a horizontal table. So we just have headings here on the horizontal. Sometimes we can have headings on the vertical, on the column side, but right now we're having here on the left, on the arrows. So if we want to make that a little bit bigger, the arrow is a little narrow. So I'm going to show you how to make the column a little bit wider so it gets the term year fits inside. I'm going to go and hover between, and we're going to do this seriously in more in depth next week, but since there is an opportunity here, I'm going to show you. So right now, look at the pointer. So the pointer is, I'm going to make it big. So the pointer right now is a white cross. So when I hover between B and C, the column B and C, it's going to change, the pointer is going to change to black, and it's going to be a black cross with two arrows pointed to each side, to the left and right. Then with a mouse, I'm going to press on the left, and I'm going to keep a press, and then I'm going to grab the mouse holding the left button, and I'm going to drag the mouse to the right to make that column wider. Okay, so that's the way I make that text fit inside that box. So I can hold it and I press the mouse. I don't know if you can see, I'm pressing it and then I'm holding it against the table. And then I can make it shorter or I can make it bigger. And then I let it go. And then that's the way I make the text fit into the column. Okay, so any questions so far? So we did text. Any questions so far? The next thing we're gonna do is add numbers. Okay, so I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna move ahead. If you guys let me know if I'm going too fast. So the next thing, I'm gonna add a number for the year. And so I'm gonna do the number first, since it doesn't have any symbols. So I'm just gonna put 10 years, and I just type it 10. That's easy. I just use a regular part of the keyboard. And then I have a couple of symbols. So I have to use the keyboard to find the symbol per percentage. So one is 4.5, and I have to find the keyboard. On the keyboard, I have to look at my keyboard and find the percentage. So the percentage is gonna be on 5. So you see 5 is gonna be shift and then 5. So look at your keyboard and you have to press the key shift and 5 at the same time, and then you have the percentage, and then you press enter. And then you have 4.5%. And then for $10,000, I'm gonna first find the dollar sign, which is on the key 4. So I'm gonna do Shift 4, the key, and I'm gonna hold the key Shift. I press the number 4 and I put too much. I press it too much, just 1. And then I'm gonna do 10,000. And then there it is. And Excel already has this, has a default that is going to put a comma anything bigger than 1,000. And that's it for now. I enter the text and the number. Then I can go and save. So I'm going to go here, File, and Save. You can put Save As. And I'm going to do Save As because I want to know where I'm saving. And everybody has a different computer. Mine is different than yours. So your desktop is going to be very different. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop. You might choose to save it somewhere else, but I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And I just going to put book 1 just for mine. You might choose another name. I'm just going to leave it book 1. And now the name of the book is right here. Whatever name you choose is going to show up here. So now if I close this, it's going to be saved. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so now we're gonna start with formulas if that's all right with everybody. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger there. So like I said, this is a calculation. All this grid here is a calculator. Excel is basically a very powerful computer, calculator computer. The other thing I didn't mention, this is one sheet, but I can have several. And then I can go back to this one. Also, when I do this, there is there are information here that is going to show. So Excel is going to give me this aggregate calculation. So it's going to add whatever number I highlighted, and it's going to give me there's 3 items here, 3 data points, and it's also going to give me the average. So this is very useful if you want to get very information from your data fast. And you can use this icon here to zoom out or zoom in also. So let's try some calculations. So calculations in Excel start with an equal. Anytime you put an equal, the equal sign, which is this one, you're gonna find it in your keyboard under, you're gonna find it. Let's see if you see it there. You're gonna find it anytime you enter the equal sign, you're gonna tell the Excel, I'm gonna enter a formula that I want you to solve for me. Okay, that's what you're telling. You're not telling them to write a text. So I can do this 5 plus 2. So you can watch me and then I can do it. So for the right now, you can just watch me and then I'm gonna do it again and then you can do it on your own. So for now, you can just watch me and then I'll give you time to do it your own if you're following yourself. So for now, I just watch me and then I'll do it again. So I'm gonna write it as a text. So 5 plus 2 times 3. So I enter like this. This is text. This is reads it as a text value. Even though I'm writing numbers, Excel is gonna expel it as 5 plus 2 times 3. It's not gonna do a calculation. When I do equal, and I do 5 plus 2 times 3, and I press enter, then Excel do the calculation. So go ahead and try it again. I'm gonna do it again right here on another cell. It doesn't matter what cell you choose. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So you can do it. I'm gonna just type. So it's your chance to do it by your own. So I'm gonna do 5 plus 2. And if you have one of these number key pads, they're very useful. Save you time. You don't have to use shift all the time. So that's another calculation. But when you do equal 5 plus 2 times 3, enter, that's a calculation. So how did it go? Did you guys try it? If somebody tried it, let me know. Put a happy face or thumb up if you tried it. I just want to know if anybody's doing anything. So if I'm changing somebody's life. So if you go into the formula box, okay, thank you. You're going to see a difference. So the formula bar, when you go on the where you wrote 5 plus 2 times 3 without the equal, look at the formula bar. It says fly exactly as what you wrote in the cell. If you go to the cell where you put the equal, where you have the calculation 11, you're gonna have the formula. So that's what is called formula bar. The formula bar is gonna give you the X-ray of the cell. The cell is gonna give you the answer to the formula, and the formula bar is gonna give you what did you write to get that answer. So that's the function of the formula bar. You're always gonna go to the formula bar to find out the formula behind the answer. So if you are working with Excel sheets or anywhere at work or at school or even at home, and you have an Excel sheet, try to go to those cells and see how the formula bar changes and see if you identify any of those as formulas are complex, as how it changes. That's an interesting exercise. Okay, so if you did that, yeah, give you a medal. Yeah, good. So that's a very simple formula. That's you can do that very easy. And also a very good trick is if you want to know if you have several numbers, you can select them. And then you're gonna get here the average of those two numbers. How many numbers did you choose? And also the sum of those two numbers. So that's also very interesting. These things that you type here, even though are numbers, they're not considered numbers because they are Excel, because they are with other icons, with the plus and everything. They are no numbers anymore. This is considered numbers, but this Excel won't read it as a number. See, you put this together, it only identifies 11. So just have in mind what Excel considers a number and what not. And remember, Excel is a computer. So there is code running underneath. So it's a little bit different if you are familiar with word processing. application. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. Oh, the order also of how we sometimes we have to use parentheses. So depending what we want to, how we want to arrange the multiplication. So you might have to, so for example, you have here 5 plus 2 times 3. So is you have 2 times 3 is 6 and then plus 5. But if you want everything multiplied by 3, you have to put parentheses. So if I do, so as you want, this is different. This is gonna be a different number because we put parentheses. So that's something, use parentheses to isolate numbers from each other, depending on what you want to calculate or not.
Casting a defense that doesn't exist.
What are the different errors you might have? So you may have some errors sometimes, and these are the different errors you might find. We're going to talk about that. This is more with references. Let's do a small reference number since example, since I still have 10 minutes. Let's do, I just want to do a small, so I'm going to go to another sheet and I'm going to do a small budget. And you can just watch me and then you can do it together. I just want to do a small budget. So I'm going to put rent, 2,000. And I'm going to put salary. I'm going to put 5,000 and put January. So I'm going to put what is the leftover, for lack of better words, since I'm in a hurry. So I'm going to do what is the leftover of the month. So I can do two things. I can do, one option is to do 5,000 minus 200. 2,000, right? And that's gonna give me the answer. But what about if I wanna do February, but in February, the rent stays the same, but maybe in February it changes. So this is gonna change the calculation. So I will have to change it every day, every month. So it's gonna get very cumbersome for me and so it beats the purpose to use Excel. If every month I'm gonna have to do a very customized and individual formula. So how can I speed up this for me? I'm gonna use cells, reference cells. So these cells, remember I told you all these cells have numbers and names. These are the coordinates are named and they have it for a reason because I want to use them. So this cells here is called D3. This cell here is called D4, and that's very important. So I'm going to call D4 is my salary, right? So I'm going to call D4. See, as soon as I type D4, Excel knows what D4 means. So Excel knows what I'm talking about. D4 is not anything. D4 is the cell D4 that I just happen to have $5,000 as a salary. So I can use that to find out what is to make this calculation easier, and I don't have to type it for every month. So I'm gonna do minus, and what's gonna be what do you think I'm gonna have to write here? Anybody knows? Anybody has any guess? D3, very good, D3. And it knows, it recognizes, because remember, this is a computer. Computer recognize that because it's a unique identifier. These are unique identifiers. So I'm gonna press enter and then I'm gonna get this. So now I don't have to do this over and over and over. It knows it. So next time I just gonna do this again. So this time it's gonna be, I can do instead of D, it's gonna be E, it's gonna be E4 minus E3. And the same thing. And so on and so on and so on. But then, you know, maybe I get tired of typing E4 and then F, and then I'm gonna get confused because, you know, I get tired, and by the time I get to G, I don't know what letter comes. So remember I told you that there was another mouse pointer. There is a mouse pointer, and I thought, well, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. We're gonna practice more this next week. So I just giving you a sneak peek. There is a mouse pointer here called the fill handle. The fill handle is the golden goose of Excel. And it's this little cross. And I'm gonna keep showing to you over and over and over. So it's okay if you don't see it now, but I'm gonna keep showing and showing to you over and over. So you're gonna go, so pay attention. So if you have never seen it, this is the time. I'm gonna make it big as I can. So you're gonna go to the, I can delete this and start right here. You're gonna go to the bottom right corner of the formula that you just created, that you want to replicate. So I'm gonna go right here to this formula. I'm gonna hover to the bottom right corner, and right here you see is the white cross, and then I'm not pressing anything. I just hovering, and then it changes to this black cross. Then I'm gonna press with the left finger, the left part of the mouse. I'm gonna press it and I'm gonna let it go. Not gonna let it go. It's not double click, it's not triple click, it's not one click. Just press it. As soon as you see that cross, press it and don't let it go, and just keep going to the right. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then let it go. And you're gonna get a bunch of zero, that's fine. So I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna do the undo, so I'm gonna do it again. So if you wanna try it, so you're gonna go to the bottom right corner. So you have the white cross, bottom right corner, black cross, with the left button on the mouse. Just press it against the table, don't let it go. Keep going to the right, keep going to the right, and just go as far as you can to the right, doesn't matter, because you can do this over and over and just let it go. Okay, so now you see now, if you go to the formula bar, now it did the job for you. So you go to the next one and you see is E, the next one is F, and the next one is G. Even though it says 0, it's waiting for your data. It's waiting for your data, but it's already, there is a placeholder there already for your data. And the next one is G, and then so on and so on and so on. So the next one, March, then it's April. So the next one, you just enter this 2000, and you enter, maybe you put 6,000 because you made more money that year, and then voila, and keep going and keep going.